Hello everyone, welcome back to the Spotlight. We're going live bright and early today on this Saturday morning to go through a few things. I've not read any of this morning's news, but I want to do more of an opinion piece on what's going on at United, what I think about it, what I think about INEOS, the transfers, and my take on Erik Ten Hag now, a week or so after the FA Cup final has happened. So, first off, we're going to get into Erik Ten Hag and the point that he's yet to be announced whether he's staying or going. I know a lot of people out there still want him to stay. I'm pretty sure you all know my opinion on that from any previous videos you watch, and it has not changed. The question I've got for you today around Erik Ten Hag is, what are the reasons you want him to stay that are not Erik Ten Hag excuses? And this is the thing, everybody says he's been making excuses all year for the performance, injuries, this, that and the other. Yes, we've had injuries. A lot of other teams have had injuries. It does not mean coming 8th with a -1 goal difference with 14 losses, conceding more shots than Sheffield United and having a wide open centre mid is acceptable, cup win or not, in my opinion. Not to mention going out the Champions League before Christmas, which again, as a Man United manager, whatever you think about that, it is not acceptable to not get out the group stages in the Champions League, especially in the group we had, because it was a crap group. But what my question is forget all them points. My question is what are the footballing reasons you're saying keep Ten Hag? Because to me, 2 years down the line, there's no style of play. 2 years down the line, his in-game management is poor. His substitutions are poor. The way he sets the team up, regardless of injury or not, is poor. And there's a lot of other big channels out there saying, what's the option? You sack Ten Hag and you get Southgate, Potter, Tuchel, De Zerbi, Poch. And all right, I'm not in the camp of where I'm desperate to get any of them, but it's not an excuse to keep Ten Hag, is it? There's other managers out there. Look at Liverpool that went and got Slot. You don't have to get a named manager. There will be others out there that would come to us. Surely there's people like Amarin. There's that Motta. There'll be other managers around that we're not all sat here raving about, that the media are all over just because they're a named manager. If United want another manager, they can go get one, and it does not need to be one of the names that everybody's touting about all over the place. But the only thing you ever hear from all of the fans that say keep him is he's had injuries all season. Well, if you actually go back and look over most of the games, we've had a poor defensive setup, fair enough. But the real reason we've conceded 500-600 shots this season isn't because of the back four. It's because of the way he set midfield up. And we haven't had that many injuries in midfield. We've had enough midfielders to cover that all season between McTominay, Casemiro, Eriksen, Amrabat, Bruno. They've been there. There's been enough to shore that midfield up and protect the defence from conceding so many shots. And if you'd have done that 6 or 8 months ago, we wouldn't be in this position now. And that is solely on Erik Ten Hag and the way he set the team up all season up until 3 games to go, when he's decided to put the midfield in a proper structure, and guess what's happened? We look way better for it. So now all you get is injuries. We've got new owners. You've got to give him more time. Wait till he gets everyone back and see how much better we are. Well, obviously, that doesn't take Ten Hag to do that, does it? I mean, any old person can sit on that chair on the sideline, and the better players you've got, the better the team's going to be. It doesn't take the manager to do that, does it? They talk about him bringing youth through. But I'm pretty sure Ollie brought Garnacho through to start with. Camberwala's only been brought through because of our defensive injuries. He wouldn't have been in the team otherwise. And Mainoo's the most obvious person I've ever seen in my life to come through a youth academy. There's no one that's really there that he's brought through that we didn't know about, and someone that's come out the academy and taken the team by storm that wasn't known about. Mainoo was known about pre-season. And he sits there and he goes in his press conference, takes all the credit for it, when these players and the academies have been built by people like Nicky Butt and everyone else. And he don't praise anyone else. He talks about it like he's the one who's nurtured them from the start and brought them all through. I'm sick of his press conferences. I'm sick of his excuses for everything. He takes no responsibility for anything that goes wrong. It's always blaming other people or talking back at the fans about, oh, if you say that we can't play better because of injuries, then you don't know what you're talking about. How about Eric? Have a look at the team and how many shots we've conceded and how you're setting the centre midfield up, and we'd probably look a lot better. And that has been proven at the back end of the season when he did exactly that and we looked a way better side. So he can contradict himself all he likes about injuries. The real problem is he's not been setting the team up right for a full season. What else we got on there? So with him, it's excuse central, injury central, never his fault, poor in-game management. But what are the football reasons to keep him? Tell me. I'm waffling on here about reasons why I'd sack Ten Hag still, but you tell me. And I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear injuries. I don't want to hear new owners. And I don't want to hear because there's nobody else to come in after him. There's nobody else. What are we going to do? Are we going to sack Ten Hag and get Poch? Well, no, we don't have to do that. You could sack Ten Hag and get pretty much anyone. I can guarantee now, if Ancelotti quit Madrid tomorrow, there'd be a switcheroo on the fan base to say we want Ancelotti in this instant. But that's not a reason to keep Ten Hag, that there's no one to replace him. The performance has still been absolutely horrendous, and he should be replaced because of that. Who we replace him with is the decision for the owners. It's not an excuse to say Ten Hag has done enough to stay. The only thing he's done in 2 years is win a Carabao Cup and an FA Cup. Apart from that, it's been nothing but total and utter failure. Even when we come third last season, the signs were there. Rashford pulled us out. If Rashford had had a season like he's had this season, last season, we'd have finished 8th last season. Let's not pretend we wouldn't have. Because he just basically bailed us out with goals. Out of nothing. But that's enough on Ten Hag. Like I say, get down below, get in the chat, whatever you want to do, and tell me a football reason to keep Eric Ten Hag, not an excuse. Like I say, I don't want to hear injuries, don't want to hear new owners, don't want to hear any of that crap, don't want to hear there's nobody to come in after him. There's about 10 managers lined up out there that if we want, we could go have a look at and get. It is not a reason not to sack Ten Hag because other channels rave on about us getting Poch, Southgate, Potter. They're not the only options. There's loads of other options out there we could go get. And they just want to sit there and preach their own agenda about keeping Ten Hag in. So, yeah, let me know what you think. I want to talk about INEOS and what I actually think about INEOS and the job they've done so far. Because, again, a lot of the other channels, people and out there are just completely slating INEOS all of the time. Too slow, this, get the manager news out there. And one thing I do think is we should know if Eric Ten Hag is staying or not by now. That is the only thing I think we should. Transfers, how can you do transfers when we don't know the manager? The transfer window isn't even open till I think the 14th of June. And you've got other channels out there spouting out why we haven't done so many transfers and why we haven't done this, that and the other. The only reason Chelsea have got Tosin is because he's free. What other transfers have been done? None. No other teams making transfers because the talk like, oh, this team's getting so-and-so and that team's getting so-and-so, but they haven't held the shirt up yet. So they're making out like we're not getting anyone or we're not linked with anyone, when the reality is no other team signed anyone either, apart from Chelsea signing Tosin, which is the most obvious signing ever, because he's free and he lived in Fulham. It's about a 2-minute bloody walk across the road to Chelsea. So I don't know what the problem is with that, but I think INEOS don't get the credit for what they've done in the club so far. Like, I work for a massive company and I know how difficult and how long it takes to change CEOs and people on boards and how long it takes for that transition to happen. It can take months and months and months, even years sometimes, to transfer that bigger position onto somebody else. And INEOS have got rid of Murto, Arnold and all them lot at the click of a finger, chucked them out, and they've got people waiting to come in. Barada's only just starting in the summer. You've got Ashworth waiting in the wings. We've got that new comms person. There's obviously Brailsford and all of them lot in there. There's Wilcox. We're not going to be signing loads of players at the first bit of the window when the whole structure's in there, probably talking about the direction the club's gonna go in. Of course, they'll have names there. Other channels, again, they act like we're not doing anything. I'm pretty sure those people have got a very long list of who they want and the priorities, and they'll be working on trying to get some through the door. The problem we've got now is everybody used to moan like mad that we leak like a sieve. Oh, it's come out again, so-and-so's leaked this, we're getting him, that, the other, I don't want him. It's come from this channel, that source, this source, the other source, we're leaking. And now we're not leaking. Now they're tight-lipped in INEOS and there's no information coming out to the media, the press or anything like that. Everyone's moaning like we're acting too slow. The reality of it is, I've got no problem with it. They've made huge changes at the club at the top, which is what everybody asked them to do first. And everyone's forgot about that already. The huge changes have already been done. The transfer window will take care of itself. There will not be this massive clear out like everybody and other channels say. 1, we ain't got the money. 2, FFP. And 3, the obvious ones will go. Varane, Casemiro, the ones on massive wages. And then the likes of people like Martial, Williams, the ones that are never in the squad, injured all the time. They'll all just filter out the club over the next few windows. The more important thing, it's not clearing people out, it's who we buy. And I think INEOS and all of them lot will have the right structure to buy the proper players for this team, and will stop buying stupid name players for stupid amounts of money, regardless of what the manager says, whether it's Eric Ten Hag or not. We won't be going out and spending stupid money on people. Hopefully, we'll buy people for a reasonable price who are hard-working, and we won't be talking about wages and prices paid until we're maybe back at the top and you can afford to splash 100 million on a luxury player because we've already got the squad in place like City do. So that's my opinion on INEOS. I think people need to be a bit more patient. They've only just got in the club. Let's not forget that he only owned 25%. The Glazers still own the rest. And it's played down way too much what they've already done at the very top of the club. And that will filter down. And over the next window or two, you'll really see the difference between what we were like before and what we're like now. So I'll just try and quickly go on to what I think about Greenwood, and because there seems to be a lot of talk about him. I think there was loads of people saying apparently he's definitely going, which is absolutely the right thing to do. Look, right, I see a lot of people online on other channels, especially the big channels, that talk about Greenwood coming back a lot. There's a lot of Facebook groups and all that lot that are always on about Greenwood and coming back. And this might be controversial and it might be something I probably shouldn't say on YouTube, but a lot of them are not from the UK. They're from elsewhere in the world. where potentially they maybe don't have the same rules as over here. They don't have the outlook we have as a country on those types of things. And what come out, and I saw it again, people posting on Twitter about it yesterday, and the audio and videos, the audio and pictures were again posted all over Twitter. If you've seen those pictures and listened to that audio, how can you say he should come back to Man United? I mean, let me put it this way. I think a lot of the people who obviously want him back have clearly not got kids of their own, especially not daughters of their own, because if your daughter ended up showing you them pictures or they got leaked online from the lad she was going out with, what are you going to do? Say, yeah, you've said sorry, mate, and let him back in your house? I very much doubt it. The complete opposite's going to happen, innit? You probably do something you shouldn't do, which I won't say on YouTube. You know what I mean? You'd probably go round his house and, you know, let's just say he won't be coming out looking the same as he did before, would he? Let's put it bluntly. But you're all on YouTube and on these channels and on Facebook saying it's acceptable. And apart from that, even if he did come back, even if he went to court and it was found not guilty, clearly the people who are saying bring him back have never been to football games in England either, because he would get absolutely, totally and utterly abused at every single stadium. He'd probably even get booed at Old Trafford, because I think a lot of the actual Man United fans, probably match-going fans and people, especially in England who support Man United, do not see it as acceptable that he ever puts a shirt on again. And it would not be, people would not accept him back at the club. Never mind when he goes to places like the Etihad, Anfield, Leeds, anywhere with even the slightest rivalry, he would be basically barraged off the pitch with abuse. And I don't think people that think Greenwood should come back to Man United personally have either had the life experience to understand what he did, or have never been to English football matches in stadiums and see what actually goes on. So that is my slightly controversial take on Greenwood, that he should never put a Man United shirt on again, and he shouldn't even be allowed anywhere near the club or Old Trafford or Carrington again. He should be dealt with from afar, and he should be sold as soon as possible for money for the people and positions we need to replace. And we don't need the drama of it. Forgetting about all of what's happened. Imagine if he did come back. The media storm. The scrutiny of everything that he does. Every story would be about him, about what he did, this, that, and the other. Like, the stories would just be about the chants and the abuse he gets in the stadium and whether it's right, wrong. We don't need it. And let's not forget, before this happened, he'd already been away on England camp, got in trouble, got banned from England camp. He's clearly a troublemaker. And over the last few years, we have got rid of the people like him, like the Pogbas, the Lingards, the people who are the leaks, the people who are making trouble in the dressing room. Dean Henderson and all them lot, they're leaving. There's even Rashford. Most people want Rashford out of the club now. So why would you want to bring Greenwood back based on that he's from that circle of players, that era that come through that time at Man United? He's a proven troublemaker. With all the baggage he's now got, you absolutely cannot take him back. And we should take anything we can get for him. People are saying 70, you're not getting that. He's got to rebuild his career like he's a nothing. Anything over 30 million, you snap the rand off, you build some extra clauses in case he goes on and gets another mega move somewhere, so you might get another 10 mil down the line. And that is it with Greenwood. People like Sancho has to leave the club. Again, people, raving on about Sancho because he's done all right at Dortmund. Yep, he's done okay at Dortmund. He was poor in the Champions League final. He's had moments. Again, people are watching highlight reels, a bit like with Greenwood. All they see is the bits where he does well. They don't see 90-minute games where probably 75 minutes, 80 minutes of the game he's not doing out. And again, football-wise, I actually think Sancho is a player that we could do with. It's a ball retention player. He could pass around on the edge of the box. But let's not forget, he come in under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after chasing him for 2 years for 70-odd million. He didn't play for Solskjaer. He's come under Ten Hag, been given a few games. Then he went off for 3 months. Ten Hag, to rehabilitate himself, gave him all the chances he could, which fair enough to Ten Hag on that one. He come back and he repaid him by falling out with him. And yes, maybe people say Ten Hag should handle it better. Maybe he should have, maybe he shouldn't. But the reality is he's been here now 3 or 4 years. He's barely played a game. He hasn't proven anything. So sell him. Anything 35 million quid plus, just get him out the door as quick as possible. Send him out the door. And finally, I just want to talk about Luke Shaw because he's going to be in the England squad now. And I think Gareth Southgate said yesterday they expect him back for the second game of the group stages of the Euros. Well, my opinion on Luke Shaw, and if you've ever watched one of my videos, you'll know it before. Yes, he's a decent player, but he's been fit for something like 44% of games in the last 10 years. Martial is hammered for his injury record. Why is Shaw not treated the same? If he goes on England duty, plays for England, then we should be selling him. The club should say, you're not going. You stay fit over the summer. If you want to stay and play for us as starting left back next year, you are not going on England duty. You're getting yourself fit for next season because we all know what's going to happen. He's going to play for England. He'll go away on holiday. He'll come back. He'll probably get injured again in pre-season, or he'll get injured again within the first 5 or 10 games of next season. We won't have a left back again. And that is what's happened, regardless of Luke, whether he stays at the club or not. Luke Shaw, we need to buy number 1 left back, and Luke Shaw can be backup. Me personally, I would sell him because what is the point in him being at the club if he's never, ever injured, never fit? There's no point. Been there for 10 years. Get rid of him. And that is a few of my takes for this morning. Is there any current news going on? Let's have a look as I'm live. See if anything's broken or out. So someone's on Sky Sports here saying Man United boss remains in the dark over the future of the club's review enters its final stages. So it looks like they're saying they're still under review. He's still not been told, according to Sky Sports. It says Southgate's on good terms with Brailsford and INEOS, blah, blah, blah. It's just the Southgate talk. People get revved up about it, but I cannot see it happening. I think it's just media hype just to like get all the Man United fans back up that we say Southgate's coming in, because I just don't think it's going to happen. It's ridiculous. Ratcliffe's Man United project faces defining test. Ratcliffe and Barada, the chief executive, still on gardening leave. Ashworth is a sporting director, is expected to be freed from the terms of the Man City to begin work soon. This means Wilcox, the technical director, is leading the transfer policy alongside Ratcliffe and Ratcliffe's key advisor, Brailsford, with Jean-Claude Blanc deputising for Barada until he's in the club fully. So they are working on the transfers. They've just got to do it between Wilcox, Barada, Blanc, and Brailsford and Ratcliffe for now until Barada's through the door. I'm pretty sure Barada's allowed to come and start from like the summer, isn't he? From July probably. So this is probably another reason why we're holding off on transfers. One for like the tax reasons, end of the football year, and one till Barada's through the door to finalise things. But that's just a bit of up-to-date news. And on that note, I have been talking now for 25 minutes. I just wanted to make it a short video on what I think about what's going on with INEOS, Erik ten Hag at the moment. So I'm going to leave you all there. Please comment below on your reasons why you should keep Erik ten Hag that are not excuses and based on pure footballing reasons, because to me there is very little to keep him in a job based on what he's done on the pitch. And 2, tell me what you think about INEOS and what they've already done. Not them being slow at transfers, because obviously they're going to be with everything that's going on. What do you think about what they've done with the structure of the club already? And on that note, hit the favourite, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will see you on the next one.